Assalamu alaikum. So yesterday we did an example about merging. Basically, it was diverging. Okay, and but we have gone through the procedure for merging as well, and the procedure is the same, but the equations are different. Okay, so we have just done an example for diverging. Now today we'll start with the example of the procedure for doing weaving segments. Okay, so what is a weaving segment? A weaving segment is the one in which you have an on ramp which is followed very closely by an off ramp. Okay, on ramp which is followed very closely by an off ramp, and both of them are connected with an auxiliary lane. This is auxiliary lane. Okay, this is an auxiliary lane which is connecting both the ramps. Okay, so why we call it auxiliary? Because it is just for connecting the ramps. This is not part of the lanes of the freeway. Okay, these are the lanes of the freeway. In this picture there are three. So this fourth lane is just for connecting the two ramps. So the capacity and level of service of the weaving segment depend upon these things. Okay, how many lane changes will there be? So if somebody wants to go from freeway to ramp, how many lanes he has to change, and the other way around as well. If somebody is coming from the ramp going to freeway, how many lane changes he has to make? Okay, number of available lanes for making the lane changes. Okay, so basically the lane changes happen from the auxiliary lane to the first lane of the freeway, to the auxiliary lane to the first lane of the freeway, and I will show you different combinations for it in the next slide. Okay, and the third parameter is the length of the lane or the distance available for doing the lane change, the auxiliary lane. So this is the auxiliary lane, you can see. So it is what we called as a goal point, right? We call these points. So for this is the goal point of an on ramp, this is a goal point of an off ramp, and between them you have the auxiliary lane. So the length of the auxiliary lane. Okay, so this is the distance for doing the lane change. This is the distance available for you to do the lane change. Okay, obviously you cannot do the lane change until you pass from this point, right? Pass from this goal point, because the lane is starting from here, and you cannot do the lane change after you pass from this point. Okay, so the lane change has to happen in this much distance. Okay, from the goal point of the on ramp to the goal point of the off ramp, between them you have to do the lane change. Okay, if you want to go from freeway to ramp or from ramp to freeway. So let us look at an sort of an animation here. So let us do an activity. Okay, I want to do an activity with you guys. So we have how many cards here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I want 5 volunteers. Yeah, go ahead. I want 5 volunteers. I'm giving you cars. Okay, I'm giving you free cars. So Badr, Qasim, and who else? I need 5. Nadine, okay. I need 2 more. Okay, Akbar, 1 more. Who else? Don't be afraid. As I said, I'm giving you free cars. You should be happy.
What kind of car?
The one which you see in the slide. Yeah, 5th one. Anyone? Ali? Okay, good. Good. Okay, you can see the 5 cars here. Pick up your car. Okay, Badr, which one do you want?
The red one, doctor.
The red one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Qasim?
The yellow one.
The yellow one. Okay. Nadine?
The purple one before the merge segment.
Okay, this one. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay. And Akbar? Left with only 2. Purple or blue?
The blue one.
The blue one, okay. And Ali, you are left with this one, right?
All right.
No choice for you. No choice for you, okay? Okay. So basically, Badr has chosen very wisely. His car will not be affected by this segment, okay? This one and the blue one, they are not getting affected by the weaving segment, okay? The purple one, Nadine, this is the one which will go towards the freeway, okay? And this one, Nadine, you chose this one, so this is the one which is going from freeway to ramp, and the one which belongs to Ali, this is going from ramp to freeway, and Qasim is basically going from ramp to ramp. So he doesn't have anything to do in his life. He's just going from one ramp to another ramp. Okay, so let's see how you guys are doing with your driving. Okay, so you see Nadine was too fast. Okay, so if any of you did not drive properly, especially these three drivers, okay, let me go back, especially these three drivers, Qasim, Nadine and Ali, if they did not drive properly, then you can see how much of a conflict, how many conflicts are there between these three cars. Okay, okay, so one of them had to be very fast. You saw this. One of them had to be very fast and the other had to be slower in order to avoid the conflicts. If any of them did not do as they were supposed to do, all three of them would have been in a conflict. All three of them would have been in a crash. Okay, similarly, if Akbar and Badr were not, were trying to change their lane needlessly, unnecessarily, then they would have also caused a crash. Okay, so this is just to show you how important is everybody's decision and everybody's driving behavior on a weaving segment, because one vehicle can cause a crash which may involve multiple vehicles at a time. Okay, so again you see here Badr and Akbar over here, if they, for example, they say, okay, we don't like this lane, we want to be in another lane, then or for some other reason, if they change their lane unnecessarily at this point, they will disturb all these three people. Okay, so they will be disturbing these two lanes, one from the freeway, one from the ramp. Okay, and they may be causing disturbance in this ramp as well. Okay, and so on. Okay, so this is just to show, you can take these cars with you, okay, wherever you want. Okay, they are your amana with me. Okay, so moving on. Enough. Okay, this is a methodology for calculating the speed, density, and level of service for the weaving segment. So find out the input data. Okay, adjust the demand volume, then find out the weave configuration characteristics. Okay, how many vehicles are weaving and so on and so forth. So weaving, again, weaving is basically this sort of a behavior. Okay, this, so you can see it's a weave. When you are sewing something, when you're sewing a cloth or something, this is the sort of pattern you do, right? One thread goes over the other, so it's like weaving. Okay, this is why we call it weaving. Okay, so you can see the two purple vehicles were doing weaving. The purple and the yellow were doing the weaving. Okay, so then find out the maximum weaving length, find out the capacity of the weaving segment. Okay, and if the flow rate is more than the capacity, then we know it's level of service F. Okay, then find out if it is not level of service F, then we find out the lane changing rates, and then you find out the speed and density and level of service. Okay, we will go through them one by one. Input data means find out the number of lanes including freeway plus auxiliary. Okay, short length of the weaving segment, which is, as I said, from goal point to the goal point. Okay, from the extreme point of the on ramp to the extreme point of the off ramp. Location of the ramps, where they are located, on the right hand side or the left hand side. Number of lane changes required from ramp to freeway, freeway to ramp, and ramp to ramp. Okay, now I showed you here, if you are going from ramp to ramp in this configuration, you do not need any lane change, right? So Qasim, no, Qasim was the one who was going through this freeway. This purple one, which belonged to who? Ali, right? So Ali did not need any lane change. Okay, so he was also safe. So he's just going from ramp to ramp. Okay, he's just going from ramp to ramp. So in this configuration, ramp to ramp, lane changes will be 0. You do not need to change your lane if you're going from on ramp to the off ramp. Basically, you are taking a U-turn then. Okay. So in this configuration which I showed you, ramp to freeway and freeway to ramp will have lane changes, otherwise no. Okay, but I will show you the other configurations as well. Number of weaving lanes, the lanes from which weaving can be done with 0 or 1 lane change. Okay, so it's basically the immediate lane of the freeway, the immediate lane of the freeway from the auxiliary lane. The immediate lane of the freeway from the auxiliary lane. Okay, so how many lane changes you have to make? Interchange density, we know about it. Okay, interchange means the points where you have the interchanges, the ramps. Okay, and then you count it 3 miles forward, 3 miles backward, and so on, like we did. Okay, for the basic freeway segment as well. Terrain type. Okay, capacity of the basic segment, the basic freeway segment, what is its capacity? And hourly demand volumes and parameters for freeway and both ramps. So we need the volume, and what else related to volume do we need? We used it yesterday as well as for the basic freeway segment. So if I give you just the hourly volume, what else would you ask me about the volume?
Peak hour factor and heavy vehicles factor.
Yeah, heavy vehicles factor or percentage of heavy vehicles, because then you can calculate the factor yourself. Okay, now the lane changes. Okay, the minimum number of lane changes, I say minimum. So lane changes required to go from ramp to freeway. Okay, and multiply with the flow rate of ramp to freeway. Okay, then lane changes required from freeway to ramp, multiply with the flow rate from freeway to ramp. Okay, now you can see 3 configurations here. Okay, this is what we call as two-sided, for two-sided weaving. Okay, so for two-sided weaving, now you can see one ramp is on one side, the off ramp is on the other side, and vice versa here. Okay, so in this case, how many lane changes do you have? In this case, how many lane changes you have? You have to go from this one to this one to this one, right? So we have 3 lane changes. Okay, and in this condition, you will only take ramp to ramp. You only take ramp to ramp. Okay, because that will give you the maximum value. That will give you the maximum value. If it is two-way weaving, like in this case or this case, then you will take the lane changes only from ramp to ramp. Then you don't need from the freeway to ramp or ramp to freeway. Okay, because ramp to ramp is the maximum one. Okay, so in this case, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 lane changes from ramp to ramp. Okay, so basically it will include all the ramps, right? Include all the lanes. If you have two-sided weaving, then the number of lane changes will be the complete number of lanes of the freeway, right? Okay, then if you go for one-side weaving, then you can have these 2 cases. Okay, so I already showed you this one. You are on the freeway, you want to go towards the ramp. This is the lane from which you should do it. So we are only considering the drivers who are already in the nearest lane. So freeway to ramp, LC will be 1. Ramp to freeway, LC will be 1. Okay, the number of lanes from which you can do the weaving is 2 then. Okay, these 2 are the lanes from which you can do the weaving, right? The number of lanes available for weaving are 2. One is the auxiliary lane and the other one is the immediate lane of the freeway. Okay, now you come here. Okay, and again, if you consider now ramp to freeway, then you need 2. Okay, you need 2, and freeway to ramp, then it is 0. Freeway to ramp, it is 0. Now this sort of a configuration is applied where ramp to freeway flow is very low. So from this ramp, very few vehicles are coming from the ramp. From this ramp, very few people are coming, and from this ramp, very like high number of people are going out. Okay, so ramp to freeway is very low, and freeway to ramp is very high. Okay, so basically, then we allow more lanes for the off ramp, and then we are allowing more lane changes for the on ramp. More lane changes for the on ramp. Okay, so you can see if you want to go from ramp to freeway, so you need to make 2 lane changes. Okay, so LCRF is 2. Okay, and freeway to ramp, you don't need to make any lane change if you are already in this lane. Okay, this is the continuous lane. You can see this is not an auxiliary lane. This is not an auxiliary lane. See here, not an auxiliary lane. Okay, then the number of lanes in which the weaving will happen is basically again these 2. Okay, the auxiliary lane and again the immediate lane of the freeway. Okay, so in both cases, number of lanes for weaving is 2, in this one as well as this one. But here in part B, in sketch B, we are trying to facilitate the people who are going from freeway to ramp. Okay. Then you have to find out the maximum weaving length. The maximum weaving length. Weaving length basically means the length up to which after which the weaving has no effect. So the distance between the on ramp and the off ramp is so high that between them vehicles have so much time they can do the weaving without any problem. So like I showed you in the animation, the distance was very short between the 2 ramps. If I increase this distance, then what will happen? Vehicles have so much distance available to do the weaving that they can change their lane irrespective of the other drivers. Okay, so they can wait and they can change their lane from freeway to ramp, ramp to freeway without causing too much turbulence to the other drivers. Okay, because this is the main problem, right? This is the main problem, the turbulence to the other drivers. When you are going from ramp to freeway or you are going from freeway to ramp, you are causing turbulence to the other drivers. Okay, so if you are going to off ramp, you are also causing turbulence to the on ramp drivers and vice versa. Why? Because the distance is so short between the 2 ramps. Okay, so everybody is trying to change the lanes in a very short distance. This will cause the weaving effect. Okay, this is the main weaving effect. But if I increase the distance between the 2 ramps, then everybody has enough distance to do the weaving and still give the chance to the other drivers as well. Okay, like I showed in the animation, if one driver was making a mistake, it will cause a crash, including all the 3 drivers. Okay, but if there's enough distance, then nobody has to do anything in urgency. So there's no urgency there. Okay, so how do you calculate the maximum weaving length? This is the maximum weaving equation. This is known as volume ratio or volume ration. Okay, I will call it ratio, but anyways, and this is number of lanes for weaving, right? So volume ratio is the weaving volume upon the total volume. Weaving volume upon the total volume. Okay, total volume is weaving and non-weaving. Okay, total means weaving plus non-weaving. Okay, I think there is a mistake in this equation. Should be weaving and then non-weaving. Okay, so I can correct it. You can correct it with you as well. It should be weaving and non-weaving. Okay, we are not adding twice. Okay, so weaving means which volume? The volume which is going from freeway to ramp or ramp to freeway. This is weaving. Okay, so ramp to freeway, freeway to ramp. Okay, this is weaving again here, and non-weaving is what? The one which is going from ramp to ramp or freeway to freeway. The one which is going from ramp to ramp and freeway to freeway. And again, you can see they are considering what? They are considering the one-sided weaving. The one-sided weaving. Okay, they are not considered two-sided weaving because I told you in two-sided weaving, then you will only consider the ramp to ramp as the weaving, and the others will be non-weaving. Okay, so this will be the case. Now, if you calculate L maximum and it is less than the short length, the go to gore point distance, the length of the auxiliary lane. If it is less than that, then that means your segment is like a basic freeway segment. Weaving has no effect. Okay, so if Lmax is less than Ls, then weaving has no effect. Okay, and you can see there's a graph which they have plotted using number of weaving lanes. Okay, and the volume ratio. Okay, VR and NWL, and the maximum length. So you can see when I increase when I increase the number of weaving lanes, I need more length, a higher L maximum to have no weaving effect. Oh, sorry, I need a lower. Sorry, I need lower length to have no weaving effect. When I increase the number of weaving lanes, then I need lower length to have no weaving effect. Okay, so if you have more lanes from which weaving can be done, then in that case, even shorter segments may have less turbulence. This is what we are saying. Even shorter segments can be without turbulence. Okay, and you can see volume ratio. So when the volume ratio increases, so when your volume ratio will increase, how? Volume ratio will increase if the weaving volume is increasing, right? If the weaving volume is increasing, then volume ratio will increase. The numerator will increase, then the ratio will increase. So when the volume ratio increases, you can see here I need more length to get rid of the turbulence. Okay, so if weaving volume is higher, then the distance between the two ramps should be higher as well. So if somebody asks you, I want to design an on-ramp and an off-ramp, and I don't want to make it into a weaving segment, I want to avoid the turbulence of weaving, then you perform this sort of a calculation to give him the length, the distance between the on-ramp and the off-ramp. The distance should be this much, so that you, or more than this much, so that you don't have any weaving effect. Okay. Now, if you don't have any weaving effect, then obviously the segment between them will be considered as a basic freeway segment. Okay. But the segment which is near the on-ramp can be a merge segment, and the segment which is near the off-ramp can be a diverge segment. Okay. Then we calculate the capacity. Okay. So the equation which you see here is the capacity under ideal conditions. Okay. So CIFL is the capacity of the basic freeway segment. Okay. So I showed you a table last time. Okay, to calculate the capacity of the basic freeway segment under ideal conditions. So you can use the same table. You just have to know the free flow speed. Okay. VR means the volume ratio, LS short length, and WL the number of weaving lanes. Okay, and the capacity under for the actual capacity. So CIWL is the actual capacity under ideal conditions, and this one is the capacity for the weaving segment. Then the actual capacity. So ideal condition multiplied by the number of lanes multiplied by the heavy vehicle adjustment factor. Okay, so here I am multiplying with the heavy vehicle adjustment factor. So the answer will be in what? What will be the units of CW? What will be the units of CW?
Passenger car per hour.
Passenger car per hour. Sure. See here. This is already in passenger cars per hour per lane. CIWL is already in passenger cars per hour per lane, and then you are multiplying with FHV. So it will be in vehicles per hour. Vehicles per hour. Okay. Then there is a maximum value for this equation. If you exceed this maximum value, then this value will be cancelled and you will take the maximum value. Okay. So this is the maximum value. 2400 upon VR if NWL is 2, and 3500 upon VR if NWL is 3. Okay. So if the value from this equation 5.50 is more than CIW, then you will take the value of CIW. Okay. If the value of CIWL is more than CIW, then you will take the value of CIW. Okay, and this is not in per lane. Okay, this is not per lane. This one is per lane. So you have to multiply with the number of lanes to get the to compare them, and then you multiply with the heavy vehicle adjustment factor. Okay, because it's already across all lanes, so we don't need to multiply by the number of lanes. CIW is already across all the lanes. Okay, so it's not per lane. CIW is not per lane. Okay. Okay, so when you are checking for the capacity, when you calculate the capacity, you can also apply the capacity adjustment factors which we have taken, which we have seen for the basic freeway segment. The work zone, the incident, the weather condition, all those adjustment factors can be multiplied with the value of CW. Okay, we can multiply with the value of CW. Then you compare the volume which you have for the weaving segment, and you can, if it is more than the capacity, then you have level of service F. Okay, then the level of service will remain F. Okay, we need to find out lane changing rates as well. That means lane changes per mile. Okay, so lane changes, there are of three types. Okay, lane changes required by the weaving vehicles to continue on their desired path, freeway to ramp or ramp to freeway. Optional weaving, lane changes required by the weaving vehicles. Okay, due to their misposition. Okay, so we were considering that the lane changes will be from where? From the immediate lane. Okay, but let's say somebody is in the extreme left hand side lane and he has to go towards the ramp. Okay, so he will require more lane changes, right? He will require more lane changes. Okay, so he is not in the immediate lane, so he has to come to the immediate lane, so he will make 1 or 2 extra lane changes. Okay, and then we have optional lane changes by non-weaving vehicles to avoid turbulent lanes. Okay, so like in the previous the animation, like I said, Badr and Akbar were in the extreme lanes. Okay, so they may not be facing any turbulence because the lane changes are supposed to happen in the immediate lane and the auxiliary lane. Okay, but let's say somebody is on the freeway in the third lane, in this lane. Let's say somebody is on the freeway in this lane. Okay, and he knows there's a ramp and the drivers will be coming to this ramp and going off from this ramp. So in order to avoid this turbulence, he may also opt to go in the other lane. Okay, so this will be an optional, because obviously even from this lane he can continue on the freeway, right? Even from this lane he can continue on the freeway. So this lane changes are still optional. Okay, to go from this lane to this lane is optional. He is doing it to avoid turbulence. Okay, so that he does not have to slow down or stop for somebody who is making the weaving lane change. Okay, so there are three types: required by the weaving vehicles, optional by the weaving vehicles because of their misposition, and optional by the non-weaving vehicles, which is to avoid the turbulence. Okay, so lane changes rate is LCW. Okay, then we have minimum lane change required per hour within the weaving segment, which we have already calculated in the previous steps. Okay, and LS is the short length, ID is the interchange density. I told you 3 miles forward, 3 miles backward. Okay, and so LS, there's a limit for LS. LS should be less than or equal to 300 feet. You can see here. If LS is not less than or equal to 300 feet, then you will have a negative number here, and then there will be a problem in using this equation, right? Because you are taking the square root here, so it will give you an imaginary number, right? An imaginary number. Okay, so this will give you the lane changing rate here. Okay, and N is the number of lanes in the segment. The number of lanes in the segment, total number of lanes in the segment. Okay. So this will give you the lane changes for option 1 and 2 for the weaving vehicles. Okay, required and the optional one. Okay, so this will give you for the first two categories of lane changes, and this will give you for the last category. This table gives you for the last category, okay, for the non-weaving vehicles. So first of all, we must calculate the intensity of non-weaving vehicles. So the parameters are known here. Okay, V and W means the flow rate of the non-weaving vehicles. Okay, then based upon the value of I and W, you will pick up which equation you should use. Okay, so LC and W1. Let me see if I can make this table bigger. No. Okay. So there are no new parameters here. The only thing is you have to worry about the range of I and W. Okay. So you can see less than or equal to 1300, the first equation, more than or equal to 1950, second equation. If it is between 1300 and 1950, this is the equation you will use. Okay. Now they are saying if you calculate the first two values, and the second value is more than or equal to LC and W1, then you will take this value. Okay, I don't know from where they are coming with this, but this is what they are saying. Okay, I don't know how would we calculate both values, seriously. Okay, but in any case, the total number of lane changes, the rate of lane changes will be the one for the weaving vehicles from here and the one for the non-weaving vehicles from here. Okay, I will check this point. Okay, again from the book, because I don't understand how can we get two values, LC and W1 or LC and W2. Why would we calculate both the values? Because I and W can be either this value or this value. Anyways, I will check it. Okay, then the speed of the weaving segment. This is the equation here. We need this is the average speed. We need the weaving intensity factor. Okay, weaving intensity factor should be, yeah, this one. Sorry, this one. So weaving intensity factor is something which we did not calculate. FFS, free flow speed. SAF is what? What is SAF?
Speed adjustment factor.
Speed adjustment factor, again the same factors which we have discussed for the basic freeway segment, the work zone and the weather condition, right? Okay, so this is the speed of the weaving segment, the speed of the non-weaving segment. Okay, as the minimum number of lane changes required. Okay, now this is different. Okay, this is the one which we calculate in the second step. The one which we calculate in the second step. Okay, this is the SC all, means the lane changes, the rate of lane changes for all vehicles. Okay, and this is the minimum number of lane changes required for the weaving vehicles. Okay, so these two are different. And this is the total flow rate, and this is divided by the number of lanes, total number of lanes. Okay, then this is the speed, the total speed, okay, of the segment. So this is like taking an average. They are trying to take an average here. Okay, and this is the density. Okay, so on the basis of density, you can calculate the value of level of service. Okay, so you need first of all, we calculate the speed of the weaving and the non-weaving segments separately, and then we will use it in equation 5.63 and 5.64 to calculate the speed, average speed of the overall segment and the density. Okay, and this is the level of service. Okay, now one thing here, SW means the speed of the weaving vehicles, and SNW means the speed of the non-weaving vehicles. Is like, so they are not in different lanes, they are for different types of vehicles. Like if you remember, for the merge and diverge segment, we calculate the speed of the outer lanes and calculate the speed of the lanes which are in the influence area, right? So that was the speed of the lanes. This is speed of the vehicles. Speed of the vehicles who are making the weaving, and speed of the vehicles who are not making the weaving. Okay, so they are not for different lanes. You may have non-weaving vehicle which is in the immediate lane of the ramp. You may have a non-weaving vehicle which is in the immediate lane of the ramp. This may happen. Okay, and you may have a vehicle which is in the outer lane and that wants to make a weaving maneuver. Okay, so that can also happen. So these are speeds of the vehicles. Okay, again, this is a problem from the book. We have a standard ramp weave segment, 3 lanes. So highway has 3 lanes. Okay, the freeway has 3 lanes. Free flow speed is given. Short length 1850 feet. Okay, the main line volume is given. Entering volume 875. So this is coming from the on ramp, and the exit volume going off from the off ramp. Ramp to ramp flow is 175 vehicles per hour. All traffic streams have 10% trucks. Level terrain, interchange density is given. You have to find out the capacity and level of service of the weaving segment. Okay, I will go to the notebook again. Have your calculators ready? I'm trying to, I will try to finish it today. Okay, let us go through the procedures. The first thing, the input data is given. I don't have to calculate it. Okay, the first thing which I will calculate is the lane changes. The lane changes, right? For calculating the lane changes, I must know the number of ramps, the number of lanes to go from ramp to freeway and from freeway to ramp. They are saying it's a standard, so I'm assuming that they are talking about this one. Okay, they are talking about this one. So again, 1 and 1, and NWL will be 2. Okay, they said in standard, they did not give any particular figure or something. So I'm assuming that 3 lanes with one-sided flow will be that one. So first of all, I will calculate LC minimum. Before that, I should calculate the flow rate, right? Sorry, I should calculate the flow rate. So flow rate for the main line, which is the freeway segment. So let me call it freeway to freeway, right? So to calculate the flow rate, what should I do? I have the value 4650. What should I do with this value? To calculate flow rate, they have given me volume in vehicles per hour. I want to calculate flow rate. What should I do?
We have to find the factor, the heavy vehicle factor.
The heavy vehicle adjustment factor, so FHV. Okay, we already know that it is 1 divided by 1 plus percentage of trucks, ET minus 1. What terrain do we have? We have level terrain. So for level terrain, the ET is 1. Okay, and percentage of trucks is given. For all of them, we have 10%, right? So it will not change. Okay. So how much is the value of FHV? ET will be 10%, 0.1. ET is 2. For level terrain, ET is 2.
.91.
0.91. Okay. Okay, so freeway to freeway. We will have how much is it? 4650 divided by 0.91. How much is it?
5110.
But I think there should be the peak hour factor mentioned as well, right? We are using the flow
Yeah,
rate.
there is nothing.
Let me check. Otherwise, we will just assume, okay, thinking that they forgot. Which example is this? 5 point. .4 is not given. We are doing this one, right? So in this case, we need, where is it? They use in volumes or flow rates. They are saying volume ratio here, and they are saying flow rate. Yeah, the flow rate should have peak hour factor. Okay, we'll just assume the peak hour factor for the time being because we need the flow rate. Okay, so peak hour factor, let's say 0.92. That's it. How much will you get now?
5678.
5, 6, 7, 8 passenger cars per hour. Okay. Then we entering volume means ramp to freeway. This is 875 using the same factors. How much?
1069.
1069. The cars per hour. Okay, and then we have freeway to ramp. Is 730 divided by 1 into 2.92. How much is this?
872.
872. Okay, and then we have ramp to ramp as well. I think they were using the capital letters. Okay, never mind. I'll change it. Okay, so that is 175 divided by
Doctor, the first one is 5554.
5554. Okay.
And the second one as well, Doctor, 1045.
045. Okay. Third one.
No, the third one, okay.
Okay. One.
The last one, 209.
209.
9.
Okay. 209 passenger cars per hour. Okay. Then we will find out the LC minimum. Okay, so it was the number of lane changes required from ramp to freeway and freeway to ramp multiplied by the flow rate. In this case, they are saying a standard weaving segment. So again, in both cases, it is 1. If you come here, RF is 1, and FR is also 1. Okay, so you just add basically these two flow rates. You add these two flow rates. Okay, VRF, because you are multiplying by 1. Okay, so VRF and VFR, if you add them, how much you get? 1045 plus 872. How much?
1917.
1917 passenger cars per hour. Okay, then you move on, you calculate this L max. Okay, so first of all we will calculate VR, and VR is the ratio of this 1917 divided by the total. So total is 1917 plus freeway to freeway and ramp to ramp, so 5554 plus where is it, the last one, 209. Yeah,
0.25.
0.25. Okay, then we can calculate Lx, L maximum. The good thing about these equations are they are easy to write. Okay, so I think this is, I can just. Okay, so VR is 0.25 and NWL is 2. Okay, like I showed you, this is as per considering the standard is what it is. So how much is it?
5115.
5115. Okay, this will be in feet. This will be in feet. Okay, and then you check it with the short length which they are given, which is 1850 feet. 1850 feet. So L max is more than LS, so it's a weaving segment. Okay, if it was the other way around, it would not have been the weaving segment. Okay, so I think we will stop here. Okay. Or what you can do tomorrow, give me the values of this capacity in ideal conditions and CW. Okay, and check for this maximum value as well. Okay, so when you come tomorrow, come with these values. Okay, calculate CIW. Okay, the basic freeway capacity will be taken from the table which I showed you. For the basic freeway segment, the free flow speed is given. You will take it from there. Okay, so VR we know, LS we know, and WL we know, and then you will calculate CW. Okay, and then you will check if the capacity in the ideal condition is not going over this value. Okay, for that you must multiply with the number of lanes. So calculate CIW, multiply with the number of lanes, and check it with equation 5.52. If it is fulfilling the condition that it is less than this, then you can calculate CW using this equation. Otherwise, take the CW from here, equation 5.52, and calculate CW using the last equation. Okay. They keep on showing me messages. I don't need, I don't know. Sometimes you feel like you are being captured, right? You are being taken away by someone who is online. They are watching you and they do as they want with you, and you don't know who is doing it. Okay. Dua Abdul Rasul, Ali Akil, Ali Salah. Ali Salah is here. Ali Akil is here. Iman Kamil, Asma Khalil. Iman is here, Asma is here. Zahra Sayyid, Nujuz Salah. Zahra is here, Nujuz is here. Okay. Dana Nasir, Nadine Hussam. Okay. Noor Yusuf, Dana Isa. Okay, Reem is also here. Zainab Muhammad, Asil Adnan. Zainab, Asil. Okay. Nadir Abdul Munim, Latifa Ahmad. Latifa Ahmad, Salma, okay. Salma Jafar, Qasim is here, okay, fine. Salma is here, Badr is here. Muhammad Akbar, Ahmad Amin, Ibrahim Muhammad. Akbar is here. Ahmad Amin. Ibrahim, okay, fine. Ahmad Amin not here. Okay, thank you. See you guys on Thursday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.